What's up? What's up?
Hey James, how are you?
Good. How's it going, Marsha?
It's going great.
Hey, so just letting everybody know, we're here for a treat today. We got Marsha. She's gonna be, kind of sharing her experience, some of the stuff that she's been able to do in this real estate space, but more importantly, just the power of connection. Some of the stuff that she, some of the people and some of the events that she's been connected with that's kind of helped her in her real estate business. So, once again, we're doing this every Thursday at 11 o'clock. We're interviewing an agent that's been killing it in that particular area. And today, Marsha, you the agent. so, uh, but before we get too far into things, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background? How did you get into real estate?
Okay, sure. So I am, of course, again, my name is Marsha Carnegie. I am a native of South Carolina. I, born and raised in South Carolina, grew up here. After high school, I attended North Carolina A&T University in Greensboro, North Carolina. And from there, I actually joined the military, joined the Army, where I am, did 20 plus years in the Army. I retired, been retired now for almost 14 years. Actually, February will be 14 years that I've been retired from the military. So, and then after the military, well, I did some time, my last few years in the military, I was at the Pentagon in DC. And then from there, I continued working as a government employee for, well, I did a total of over 10 years in the Pentagon there. So, and from there, I always had an interest in real estate. My first goal was actually to be a real estate investor. So I wanted to get into real estate investing. And so after trying to do that, just to get myself educated on a lot of real estate, everything real estate concerning real estate, I decided to get licensed in real estate. Um, and the other thing was I wanted to do something. Although I'm, retired from the military, I still wanted to do something, not just sit and not do anything. So real estate was that one thing that I've always had in the back of my mind to do. And went ahead and got my license and got myself educated on a lot of things pertaining to real estate that could help me as well as any clients that I have. So now I'm still, been doing real estate now for almost 5 years. And here in South Carolina, and been learning a lot, connected with a lot of great people. James is one of those great people that I connected with, and I'm happy to be, a part of the real estate community.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, first, like always, thank you for your service. I mean, 20 plus years. I mean, that's a long time. They're doing anything for 20 years is a long time. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
whole process, with that. But so tell us. So you did the time in the military, and I know you all like structure and accountability is real big. How has that helped you getting into real estate?
Um, a lot of things. Well, you mentioned structure. That's one of the things I am big on structure. I'm big on. So the military teaches us a lot. Although everybody doesn't, just like anything else, everybody doesn't adhere to the rules or the things that they're taught. But I take pride in my time that I spent in the military. I take pride in anything that I do, anything that I put my hands to. I try to give it my all. And one of the things I take away from my military career is the loyalty that we're having with the people that we connect with. Also, the integrity part of it. So, um, a lot of the traits that I've had to endure or to learn in the military. Sometimes we look at, when we get into the military or any type of profession, some of the things that we learn and we have to adhere to when it comes to the rules and regulations of it, a lot of those things are already inside of us. It just takes a lot, it just takes something to push it out. So a lot of the traits that I used and learned in the military, I brought it into my military career. And integrity is one of those things that I take pride on as well, because when we're dealing with our clients, whether they're buyers or sellers, we want to always open that door and be honest with them and give them everything that they need to know about, getting into this, whatever the transaction is actually buying or selling. So as that agent, you owe it to your clients to practice that integrity and loyalty with them. So that's, those two traits are one of the main, or two of the main ones that I brought out of my military career into my real estate career.
Yeah. So what about like the, because a lot of agents, they get into this thing and, they don't know, or they don't have the work ethic, right?
Mm.
So, that consistency of, I'm gonna continue down and I'm gonna make these phone calls every single day. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna knock on these doors every single day. I'm gonna lead generate every single day. Like how is that helped you in this whole process? Because I mean, I see some of the stuff you're doing, and we talked before, and it's kind of like you always just beating down the drum of where you're trying to go. So I mean, how
Right.
has that helped?
Well, it helped because a lot of times when you get into real estate, a lot of agents, you think of it as this is your business, and although it is your business because you have to build it for yourself, but at the same time, although it's your business, you still have to treat it as a job. So as that job, you want to practice that time management. You got to know what you got every day. What is it that you need to do to put into this business, and you have to work it as you are an employee for yourself.
Mm.
Although you're the employer, but you're an employee. You're practicing as you're an employee for yourself. So every day, you need to make a plan. Every day, you have to get up in the mornings. Just like any job, you got to get up and you got to be there at certain times. So you have to plan that out for yourself as well. So you get yourself a planner or any notebooks or anything. Write out your plan for each day, and at the end of every day, just go over everything that you've done for that day and see what else you have to do for tomorrow. So every day, put it in front of you where you can always see it, and go for it and practice that time management. So, and although it can sometimes be overwhelming when you have a lot of business going on. So even with that, you want to factor in some time for yourself. So even if it's just 30 minutes, an hour a day where you can, you know, relax, release, and then come back and refocus on what it is you have to do. So you have to treat this as you would any job that you're on and keep that professionalism at all times.
Yeah. So yeah, is that what you use, like a planner? I use a Google Calendar, and I'll just put all my stuff in my Google Calendar. I've gotten to the point now, to be honest with you, like even when my wife she'd ask me questions, I'm like, can you do this at this time? Like, just put it in my calendar.
Yeah,
Just while
yeah.
I'm
I actually use my Google Calendar as well. I put all of my appointments, anything that I need to do in my Google Calendar, but I also have a calendar planner that I write things in as well. Because with that planner, I can just put it in front of me and I can see it, not just because to hold me to the appointments, but also I can put notes in there of
Mm.
different things that I need to do on that appointment and who it is that I'm seeing, the wants and needs of the clients and things like that. So I can just have it in front of me and I can glance at it and make notes there. Even when I'm talking to them over the telephone or anything, I'm making notes on that calendar because that's okay. So now I know I have this appointment at this time. These are the things that I need to do to prepare for this appointment. So I write those things out as well. But I mean, you can put it in the calendar as too, but it just helps me when I write it down as well.
Yeah. So all right. So like I said, you was in the military for 20 years.
Mhm.
You worked at you said the Pentagon, right?
Yeah, I did. Well, my last 3 years on active duty military was at the Pentagon.
Mm.
So after I retired, I continued to work as a civilian government employee in the same position pretty much. And I did an additional 7.5 years as a civilian. So a total of 10.5 years there.
Okay, okay. Now, how have you like because I always tell everybody like you're meeting people and you're talking to them and you're getting connected with them. How is those connections there, or have those connections there that helped you at all as well? I mean, are you able to reach out to these folks, or you're doing business with them? Like has how has that helped?
It has helped a lot. Actually, just with anywhere that I go, I try to build a relationship with people, a lasting relationship with people. So that way, once you go your separate ways, because just like in the military, we move so often. We move every 3 to 4 years. We're moving. So while we're there, we're almost like a family, and you don't have your immediate family there. So whoever you have around you there, you consider them your family. So you build that lasting relationship with people, so that way when you're away from there, they can remember you, and then you reach back out to them every now and then, um, just to say hello, see how everything is going with them, and then remind them that you're actually a real estate agent, and if they have anyone around them that's looking for to buy or sell in real estate, to keep you in mind for that. And then you can also, one of the other things that I do too, when it comes to holidays and things like that, or birthdays, if I remember anything else that's significant in their lives, I'll send them a card, and then I will send my business card along with it, just to keep in the forefront of their minds that yes, this is someone that I've known with friends, and she's doing real estate now. So if I ever need an agent, or if I know of anyone that needs an agent, I'm going to keep her in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to a guy before, and kind of when I was kind of starting off, and I was just asking him about like just networking, and
Mm-hmm.
networking is something that obviously, honestly, I think everybody should be doing it, but I was more specific about like what to say, how to say stuff like that. What's the mindset behind it? One thing that he told me, he said, "Look, man, um, network to network." Don't network to, get something from somebody, but you just want to network the network because you just don't know how you can actually help that person or that person can help you. It ain't even about just a sale. It's just
Mm-hmm.
about just getting to know people and
Right.
where they are and being able to, kind of impart in each other's life. So
Yeah.
that was kind of my takeaway with that. And it sounds like that's what you was just talking about.
Yeah, and even outside of that, anytime that I'm working with anyone when it comes to doing a real estate transaction, I don't look at it as just I'm doing a real estate sale, because what I'm trying to do is build a relationship with these people, and I want to build it as a lasting relationship. So even after the closing or after the transaction is over, they could still reach out to me, and I can still reach out to them, because now we've built that rapport with each other, and that's we have a lifelong relationship now. So that's what I always try to instill, or build when I'm working with, even if they don't buy or sell at this time, and I've met you and talked with them. I still try to build that relationship with them, so even down the line, even if it's years from now, they still remember, this person is someone that I can trust, and I know that I can call on her for whatever my needs are when it comes to this. So let me reach back out to her. But I still try to stay in contact with them. Not that I'm hounding them about real estate, but I'm just staying in contact just to keep that relationship open.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know we've had a couple of conversations about some clients that, you've been working with. And one thing that I can truly say about you, like you straightforward and honest. So, I mean, just no sugarcoating. This is what
Right.
it is. This is what the situation is. This is what we got to do. And I mean, I can imagine people appreciate that about you.
And they do. Sometimes, people on the outside looking in like, oh, you really wouldn't, but no. And then but like I said earlier, I try to be honest with people, because I want to give them everything and put their bottom line up front. And that's one of the things from the military that we do too. We had that acronym called BLUF, bottom line up front. So you give it to them straight, and that way down, once they start getting into this, there's no surprises, and there's nothing that you try to give them everything and say, so that later on when something comes up, they won't come back and say, well, my agent didn't tell me this. So I try to give them everything that I know to give them right up front, and be honest with them. And if I feel like, even with buyers, if you can't, if I can only go on what they give me, I try to open it and ask them to be honest with me as well, because I can't help you if you're not honest with me. So if you're honest with me, I got to, it's my duty to be honest with you as well. So I try to build that relationship with them where they can be open, because a lot of times, especially first time home buyers, they have that fear, and a lot of them feel like they can't do it anyway. So you got to build that relationship where they can trust you to open up with you, to give you so they can give you the bottom line as well. So you know what you're working with. So it's a two-way street where, I'm honest with you, and I expect you to be honest with me as well. Don't leave anything out because I can't help you if I don't know.
Yeah. Now, I like that, that bluff. I got one right. That's a write it down for y'all. To any anybody looking to get into this thing and grow. That's a write it down or bluff.
Bluff, yeah. Put the bottom line up front.
Bottom line
Yes.
up front. I love that part of it. So yeah. I mean, it, when I first got into it, there's a shout out to Pat Aikens. Pat was actually one of the people in our office, in my office, when I first got my license, and she was actually explaining that same thing to me. She was saying like, just go through the whole process up front. So if something happens, whatever it is, like you've already told the client, and they're not just surprised by it. So it's like,
Right.
remember when we talked about this? The situation could happen where this is what we're having to deal with right now versus it's a surprise and you never mention it to them and it's like all of a sudden they think you're not doing your job. So bluff covers that. Right.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it covers everything. Yeah.
Yeah, with that
Yeah.
whole situation. So like leadership qualities and stuff like that. Like definitely. I mean, I see some of the stuff that you're doing. Maybe go into that a little bit, like some of the leadership stuff that you've learned that you're actually implementing now. In this business.
Um, yeah, I've been a leader, in the military for a long time, actually. And when it comes to leaders, we have to instill things in our subordinates, the ones that are working below us. We have to keep them to a certain standard as well. So that with my leadership, and I have a passion for helping and teaching, which is one of the reasons I became a mentor, a real estate mentor for younger or new agents that are just coming into the game. So now I'm mentoring, you know, new agents or agents that have moved from one real estate company to the ones that we're with EXP. Um, so with that, I try to hold them you know, to be accountable for the things that they need to do as well. So, when they have issues that comes up or something that they don't understand, and I'm out actually in contact with them daily, so to make sure that they have no questions, and I'm giving them, um, I don't want to call it homework, but things that they need to brush up on, things to read over. I send them different videos that they can learn from, and then we discuss it. I try to meet with them at least 2 to 3 times a week to discuss anything that they have, and then try to get them, and then go over all the things that we need to make our transactions smooth. So I brought those leadership skills as well into my mentoring with the mentees that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a big thing, man, because I'm sure you learned that giving back, like we didn't learn all this stuff on our own. Like we had
Right.
somebody to be able to impart into our life and give us certain direction. Clear the clouds out, the whole nine. So you got to kind of return that favor. Like
Yeah.
you can't get anything if your hand is full, it's tight. But if you open it up, the people can put stuff into it, and the whole 9 yards. So that's basically what you're doing in that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then even for myself, and not just with real estate, but with other things as well. Sometimes when you reach out to people when you're trying to learn something, and you reach out to people, a lot of times people don't want to share information with you,
mm,
and that's one of the things. I've actually had those experiences. So so I try to learn things on my own. Not to say on my own, but I do have people that I can learn from, and the things that I learn, I give it back. So if anyone asks me questions or I can share information with anyone, I'm always open to share it because I know where I've been and I needed help with certain things, and people just give you just enough to say, oh, I did answer your question, but they don't want to go into details or give you enough information to get you where you need to go, because I don't know if they feel like it's a competition or they just don't want to share the information. So I try not to be that way. Anything that I have or any way that I can help, I'm open to do that.
Yeah, and you know, kind of speaking on that, you're connecting and bringing on two new agents that
Hmm.
is going to be within our group in total, and I guess being a mentor and helping them and being an open book, right?
Right. Yeah. I actually have two agents, brand new agents that just got licensed that's coming on as well. And I'll be sponsoring them and mentoring them as they coming on. I actually have a third one that's gonna be testing soon. Hopefully they, pass the test. And I'm helping that person as well to study, give them tips on study. And so hopefully that they'll have their license soon as well and I can bring them on board.
Yeah, so you're in the process of not only being an agent yourself and closing deals, and speaking of that, I know you got two of them under contract. You about to
Yeah.
close real soon, so but at the same time, being able to help other agents hit their goals and
Hmm.
achieve this whole freedom, so they don't be experiencing what a lot of agents experience, which is the real estate roller coaster, right? So
Right.
you might have a closing this month, you might not have another closing until 6 months later. But kind of having a mentor there, somebody that has already been there and has done it, and being able to open the playbook up so they can actually have the success early on, rather than having to go through some of the stuff that I guess we went through because we didn't have anybody to actually deal with, right?
Yeah. So one of my mentees, she's a new agent. She just closed on her first deal last week, so that was exciting for her as well.
That is awesome. That
Yeah.
is awesome. So all right, so you got the mentorship going, you got
Mhm.
the leadership qualities going, the closing. Talk a little bit, like, have you've been on a few of our trainings, and some of the stuff that we've been doing and sharing, some of the people that we've had, folks that sell hundreds of homes a year, and they just kind of open up the playbook. How has that experience helped as well?
Well, that experience has helped a lot. Just connecting with people like yourself and like Jay Kinder and Grant Cardone and people like that. Just being able to connect with people that has made it before us and selling hundreds of homes per year, and for them to be able to share the tools and things that they use to get there. That's tremendous. Like I said earlier, a lot of times people don't want to share that type of information, but for them to pave the way for the ones that's coming up behind them and showing how to actually use certain tools and connect with others to get where they need to go. I think that is a tremendous thing. I've actually, I tune in and the trainings and stuff that you do, and you bring on others to speak with us, and the ones that have done those hundreds of sales per year. When they share, I take what we call copious notes. I take a lot of notes and I go back and I go over them later and anything. And then these people have they have videos on YouTube and things like that. So if anything, what they talk about in the training, I try to find another video or something that they've actually put out there, and I go back and listen to that as well. Take more notes on the ways that they've done things, and then I practice it their way, and then later on, if I can add anything to it that would fit me, I add to it, but I don't take away from. I try to add to it. So yeah, just having that connection, and that's what we're talking about, that power of connection. Being able to connect with those type of people is tremendous in this business.
Yeah, I mean that's a powerful thing that you said there. Not taking away from what they've already done in order, basically to get the results that they have. I mean, I meet so many people, and you might give them a script, you might give them, the game plan, and the first thing they want to do is they want to put their own spin on it. And if you put
Yeah.
your own spin on it, you can't guarantee those same results. I mean, I know you
Right.
in the military, so like they got a certain way that they do every single thing, and you have to do it in this order down to making up your bed. You cannot change that particular order. So I mean, it's the same thing with the stuff. Like, why would you change something from somebody that's already having tremendous success? You
Yeah,
know,
it's one of those
that's,
things like if it's not broke, don't fix it.
yep,
It's just you use it, use what you have until once you practice, you're learning it from someone else, and you keep practicing and doing it their way and doing it their way until it gets to the point where you don't even have to think about it anymore. You could just do it. Sometimes you don't have to go back to those notes that you took from them, because now you already programmed yourself that now I can do this without even thinking about it. So when you get to that point, now you can make it your own. Again, you don't want to take away from what they already done, but if you can find something else that you can add to it and make it a little bit better, or to, to make it your own, then add to it. But again, because you built it on that was your foundation, and you built it on that. So you don't want to crack the foundation. You want to build on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your credit, like when you first came on board, like you hit every single training, every single webinar, every single like you was like gun ho, just a sponge.
Yeah, I was losing sleep. I wasn't even going to bed. Oh, they got this. Let me get this. Let me get that. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's a credit, like success leaves clues. So the people that have the most success, they have a pattern of where they do the way they do things. So
Mhm.
the learning aspect of it, like you're changing your mind. I always say change your mind. Like my business didn't grow until I jumped on an airplane, flew to California, got with agents that were selling on high level, changed my mind on how I thought about stuff, and then that's when business started to make adjustments from there.
Mhm.
So that's kind of your process. What you're saying, the same thing. Like you get in and you're just kind of like getting all that information and changing your mind and getting some of the old way of thinking out of the way, so that new way of thinking of how to be more productive and how to grow, how to grab two new agents and being able to bring them within your group. That's how this thing is built upon itself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it doesn't even matter how long you've been doing this. You still gotta be open to learning, because you're never too big to learn something else. We can do things our way for quite some time, but you know, doesn't say that your way is not good, or is wrong. But you might can find something else that someone else has, that can work a little bit better. So always be open to learning from others.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you, like I said, when me and you connected, you were already selling a good number of homes just off the rip, and I know your goal and your game plan that we're pushing towards going forward. But let's say if it's another agent that is they're doing decent as far as home sales, and but they want to take their business to the next level. Like what suggestions you would have for an agent like that?
Um, if I see that they want to take their business to another level, I kind of I talk to them to see what they're doing now. You see, what tools and things that they're using right now, um, to do the business that they're already doing. So once we go over that, then I try to introduce them to different ways that we have, just like we were talking about earlier, those connections that I have. So I can reach out to them and say, I understand that you're doing this, but what if I introduce you to someone that's been doing, like we talked about, those hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds of sales per year. What if I introduce you to someone like that, and that you can learn the tools that they use to build on your business and make it better. So I try to introduce them to that, and just attract them in that way.
Okay. Yep. Yep, like we was talking about before, just the power of the connection. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like no person is an island. Nobody could just did this thing on their own. Like success leaves clues. I always say, when I'm talking to somebody, I was a C student through high school, and I occasionally got an A and B depending who I was sitting next to. so
Yeah.
so I'm really good at copying, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
that's my whole process. So I mean, and if anybody can do that, it's easy to get success when you're just copying off of somebody else what they already did. So I mean, that's the whole process.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marsha, I appreciate the information and kind of sharing your story with our group and our people. If somebody's looking for a real estate agent in your area, how do they reach you?
Oh, they can reach me at I can give you my number. My number is area code 571-330-3656. You can always call me, or you can find me on Facebook at Marsha Carnegie, or I'm actually on Instagram at SC Realtor on Instagram as well. So yeah, but you can just reach out to me, give me a call, and I'm ready to go.
There you go. So I can't think of nobody else that's better in that area that you want to do business with. Also, like you want to know more about how me and Marsha got connected and some of the people we're connected with and partnering and stuff like that. I mean, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Marsha, and she can actually help and basically share our story. That's what this whole thing is about. Just sharing our story. So once again, every Thursday at 11 o'clock, we're going to be interviewing an agent that's doing well in our area, in their area. And Marsha, like I said, once again, I appreciate you, and hey, I'll see you at the top because I see you rising, right?
And I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much, James.
All right.